All right, welcome everyone. We're going to be getting started in just about a few minutes or so. If you don't have anything to keep your notes, to take your notes, grab a piece of paper, grab a notebook, grab something that you can use um, to keep your notes. I'm going to also drop the link down into the chat box. So if you know someone that should be here with us, I'm going to give you the link where they can join us as well. Let me drop that into the chat. There we go. All right, so that's the link for anybody to join us. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes or so. So like I said, if you don't have anything to keep notes, grab a piece of paper or something because you're going to want to capture notes. And if you have anyone that you know should be here with us, go ahead and give them that link that's in the chat box. All right. All right. So we good to go? How's everybody feeling today? Where are you joining us from? So let me know in the chat where you're joining us from. I am in Michigan. Let me bring on my camera. I'm in Michigan and it's gorgeous. It's cold, but it is absolutely gorgeous. It's a sunny day. It's a crisp day. It feels like the air is nice and clean. So I'm feeling good. Where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from? We're going to formally get started in just about a couple of minutes or so because it takes a little bit of time for all the tech to work correctly. And I want to make sure that the link is open and everybody can see us, hear us, all of the things. So I want to know where you're joining us from, you all. Let me know where you're joining us from so that I can connect with you all. And um oh, you guys can't hear me? Can you hear me? Sister Catherine, Assalamu alaikum. You might have to up your volume because I think Sister Amita can hear me. So it might be the volume on your phone. Are you on a phone or on a computer? I don't know. Are you on a phone or on a computer? Let me know. All right. So you might have to increase your volume. Okay, Sister Amita can hear and she's on the computer. So it might be something with your device, Sister Catherine. I'm going to type it in here. Increase your volume on your device. All right. Okay. Good, 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 good. All right, we're going to give it like one more minute or so, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me bring up I have this standing desk that I love because when you work from home and when you're working on books a lot, you can end up sitting down and you want to kind of move your body around. Even you all who are going to be writing your life stories, right? When you start to get into the habit of writing, sometimes you may want to take a break. You know, you may want to stand up, you may want to stretch, you may want to wave your arms, do all these weird things because it gets the blood flowing. And blood flow is essential to proper brain output. So you want to help your brain help you. So that movement can help you do that. All right, so let me see. Sister Catherine, can you hear me now? And then let's see. Sister Catherine, can you hear me now? Hopefully so. All right. All right, you all. So today we're going to be talking about legacy, right? And in particular, we're talking about writing our life stories. Now, if this is the first time, Sister Amita, is this my Sister Amita? Are you the Sister Amita who's in our program already? Let me know that. Um, and then that way I can just kind of tailor what we're going to talk about here today. So, we're talking about legacy. We're talking about writing our life stories. We're talking about capturing the knowledge, the wisdom, the experiences, the lessons learned, and putting that down into book format. Now, very interestingly, I had a conversation with someone last week about technology. And this is something I used to teach on before. They were talking about, the storage of data, right? The storage of data. When you use your phone and you are taking photos, they're stored on your phone, or they may be stored to the cloud or something like that, right? So what we're finding is that because storage of data has a monetary value to it, where people pay for more storage. Have you guys done this before? You may have purchased an extra storage card for your phone, or you may pay Dropbox or Google or something like $2, $3 a month, or $10, $12 a month for extra storage, right? So people have now discovered that storage space has a monetary value to it. Now, why is this important when it comes to legacy? Because some people are taking photos and they're taking some short videos of either themselves or people that they love. They're taking these photos and they're storing them in the cloud storage, and they're thinking that is safe. How many of you all have videos or photos or something shared in your phone or on your cloud? Let me know in the chat. Do you have any videos? Do you have any photos that are shared right on your phone or on in the cloud somewhere? The majority of us do. Now, here's what happens though. If you don't pay for the extra storage, or if you lose your password and you can't access your account, guess what happens to all of that data? It's gone. It is gone. So we think that, oh, I recorded my grandmother, it's on my phone somewhere. People are losing these things. This is not a solution for historical preservation or life story preservation. Having a little snippet of a video stored somewhere on your phone or in the cloud is not a permanent solution. All right. I want us all to understand that, because we are in this world where technology is moving at the speed of AI, they say. And AI is faster than light. Technology is moving at the speed of light, and we're oftentimes thinking that it's safe, thinking that it is foolproof, and it's not at all. Okay, it's not at all. So Angela, even YouTube, we think that I store things a lot of times on YouTube as well, but YouTube is not foolproof. Think about the technology or the programs that were out 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. What we're trying to do, you all, is make sure that we're preserving things that are going to be here for not 1 year, not 2 years, not 10, not even a decade, right? We're trying to do things that are going to be here for centuries. So we're going to use technology. We're going to store things there in all of the available technical tools that we have right now, but the written word has been here for millennia. Y'all agree with me or not? I don't care what technology is doing. The written word has been here for millennia. There are clay tablets, right? And you can say that's old school, Z, but guess what? Those clay tablets are still here. The books in Mali, Timbuktu, that they have so painstakingly worked to preserve, those books, why are they working to preserve them? Because they contain knowledge, hundreds of years. You go to Mexico, the Aztecs, the Mayans, their works, the written word is extremely important. So we're going to utilize all the technological tools and things that we have as well. But we're not going to neglect the power of books and the power of the written word that has survived all of these different types of technological advances for years, thousands of years. All right. So that's just an aside, but it's coming up frequently because I've been hearing some people say, oh, I recorded the story of my grandmother, right? And they think that they're safe, and they're not. I've heard horror stories of people that have lost photos, precious things, like really things that were really important. They lost them because they were either in some cloud or something, or some file that they don't have anymore. Y'all remember floppy disk, right? You remember floppy disk where we used to put that big old what was it, 3x5 disk into the computer? We don't use those anymore. But at the time, that was where it was at. So technology is moving at the speed of AI. And we want to make sure that we utilize technology, but we also want to make sure that we are utilizing old school things that have been here for millennia. So the written word is extremely powerful. All right. Okay. All right. So today we're talking about legacy. Specifically, we're talking about writing our life stories. And we're doing that so that we can preserve our history, our knowledge, our experiences for our family, as well as for generations to come. Okay. But guess what? When you write your own life story, you also are able to tap into a deep empathy for yourself. You get to know yourself at a deeper level. You get to understand more of what was happening in your life, more of the characters that were at play in your life. And it gives you just a sense of awareness of who you are, where you came from, and where you're going. Some of our legacy story keepers are graduating on February 15th. Okay. That's in what, 11 days from now. They're going to be graduating. You all are all invited to that celebration because it is a celebration of stories for generations to come, right? February 15th. I'll send you all the link for that. Well, you can go to 100,000stories.com to register, because everyone who registers, you're going to be put into a drawing for some special prizes for us. So we're not only going to hear their stories and why they wrote, but what some of them said in the process of writing their life story was that, you know what? This has given me a whole new sense of my fourth quarter of life, you know, like a whole new sense of my fourth quarter of life. They said, I'm in my fourth quarter right now. I know that. We all know that, we know the lifespan of humans. We know that the majority of us are not going to be here over 110 years. You know what I mean? We can say that. I hope I make it, but based off of data and science, we know that, if we make it to be a centurion, we're good. But 110, like, we're not going to probably be here any longer than that. So, a lot of us are in the fourth quarter. Some of us are in the fourth quarter of our lives. And sometimes that can be a weird space. You're done with raising the children. You're probably retired, and you're in this sort of weird, different, I won't say weird, but I'll say different life space. And sometimes it can be a little bit ambiguous, like, what's going on? What am I doing in life right now? Um and so, looking at doing this work, what we have found is that it gives people a new sense of their fourth quarter, what they're going to be doing in their life in their fourth quarter of life. And that is absolutely beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. All right. All right. So let's see who we have in the room. I want to know, are you here to write your own life story? Are you looking to write the story of someone that you love? Or are you looking to do perhaps the story of an elder that is not related to you by blood, but someone that you may be related to by spirit, right? So are you looking to do your own life story? Are you looking to do the story of someone in your family? Or are you looking to do the story of someone that you're connected to by spirit, but not necessarily, by blood? And then also, it could be the story of someone that you lost. We have had a few clients come in that are doing tribute books. So Dr. Patricia did a tribute book for her granddaughter who lost her life to osteocarcinoma at the age of 10, a bone cancer. So legacy is not always just for elders. We don't know how long we're going to be here. So you may very well be doing a tribute book. You may be doing a book for someone that you've already lost or such. So let's see who we have in the room. All right. So Angela says all of them. LJ Spence says family. Amina, hey Amina. Amina is one of our other power authors who graduated from one of our other programs. So she's here to write her own life story. Sister Amina, I want to write my own story, but maybe about my mother who died at 99. Oh, you had your mom for a long time. I love that for you. I love that for you. And you were her caregiver. Sister Catherine, still no sound. Let me see. For Sister Catherine, maybe switch devices if you can. Like go to your computer. Hold on one second, you guys. I just want to see if I can help her real quick, and then I'm going to jump back in. Like go to your computer or leave the link and come back in. I don't know what's going on with her volume. Or double check your volume and turn it all the way up. All right, but the rest of you all can hear, so I know the tech is working on my side, so it's something on her side. All right, if you see somebody type something into the chat and you feel like you can help them, go ahead and let them know, because I'm going to be kind of focusing on you all, and I may not be able to capture everything in the chat until it gets to the Q&A time. All right, Angela, I have video recorded all 2 out of 3. It's been powerful with recording people's story right before their untimely death. Wow, that is powerful indeed. I'm glad. So now we probably need to work on taking that video, right? And like I said, putting it into other formats, right? Putting it into other formats. All right, so some of you all are here to write your own life story. Some of you all are going to be writing the story of family members, right? Now, family members. Now, what we want to talk about is, what do you do when you have decades of life, right? And how do you decide what's going to be in this life story that we're putting together here? Because if I just ran down what happened over the last 2 days, last 48 hours, and I tried to tell you everything that happened in the last 48 hours, it's going to be too much, right? If I tried to write every single thing down, it's already too much. So let alone 2 years of life, or 2 decades of life, or 5 decades of life, or 6 or 7 or 8, or however many decades of life we have. There are more experiences, more lessons, more things that we've gone through than we're going to actually be able to put into this life story. You all agree with me or not? You agree with me or not, right? There's a lot that's going into it. So, how many of you all have kind of thought about, how am I going to organize this? What am I going to put actually in here? What if there is something I don't want to talk about? Do I have to include that? You know, how do I get to choose? So, real quick, let's talk about the difference between an autobiography and a memoir. Okay, because this comes up a lot and people sort of sometimes get tripped up on the language. Now, when I talk to you all, I'm speaking from the perspective of you writing your life story, and I don't care what you want to call it. I don't care about any specific literary term. Is it a memoir? Is it an autobiography? I don't really care. Okay. I want you all to really think about writing aspects of your life story. You get to choose what's going to go in there, and you get to choose what you want to call it. But I'm going to get technical for a moment, just for those of you who kind of want to know about this. Okay. We're not going to spend a lot of time here, but I want to just break it down just a little bit. So, autobiography. Biography, the story of someone's life, right? Right? The story of someone's life. Autobiography, meaning you're writing it yourself. Okay. I am writing the story of my life. Autobiography, and it's going to be from the time that I was born up until the present time. I'm going to be giving an overview of my entire life. Okay. Now, a lot of our clients, a lot of the students in our program, the Legacy Story Keepers, are writing what we call these life stories. They're looking at, where did I come from? What was my early childhood like? Who was my grandmother? Who was my grandfather? What do I remember about going to elementary school? Who were some of my best friends? Then going into high school, did I play an instrument? Did I fall off? Did I drop out? What happened there? Maybe going into college or your professional career, first love, having children, losing children, all of the different things that come into their life, right? We're writing all of those things out. Okay. So you're sort of imagining that your life is playing on a movie screen, and it's all the way from when you were little Z, all the way to where you are right now. Okay. So that's what we want to call like an autobiography. You're writing the story of your life from the beginning all the way through the different phases of life up until today. All right. Okay. Now, a memoir, a memoir is focused on a specific aspect of your life. What I mean by that is that, let's say I want to talk about um, moving to Egypt after graduating from college. And I want to talk about just that 2 year period of my life. What happened during that time, the people that I met, how it changed me, how it updated my mindset, how I started to think about culture and all of the different beautiful people of the world, right? I'm just focusing on that 2 year period of life. Now, I may share some things about where I came from, how I grew up, all of that. But the real focus is on that 2 year period of life. So it's no longer an autobiography because I'm not covering all of the aspects of my life, right? I'm focusing on just that little bit, that little snippet of life. So that's what we call like a memoir. It's focused on a specific part of your life. Okay. Now, like I said, you may include things of where you came from, characters, all of that that lead up to that part, but it's really focused on that part. Okay. All right. So many of you all are going to be writing your full life stories. Okay. Your full life stories. How many of you all here? Well, let's poll the audience. Let's see. What are you all thinking? Are you looking to write your autobiography, which the majority of our clients are doing, or are you looking to just pull one little snippet of your life out and you're going to be focused on that? What are you looking to do? So, Sister Angela, this has been a challenge. I have written one family book about my parents' marriage. I have also written 2 children's books about my nieces. Which part has been the challenge? I missed it. Let me know what's been the challenging part of it, and I'll see if we can sort of go over some of that today as well, right? Okay, LJ says, now that you explained the difference, I will go into autobiography. Yeah, really, a lot of us, the majority of us, the majority of the students in our program and the majority of our legacy story keepers are writing life stories, right? The autobiographies, because they're doing a review of everything that sort of happened in their life. But what I'm going to show you in a moment is still, how do you write an autobiography where it's not overwhelming? Because, like we said, even if I just talked about the last 2 weeks of life, there's going to be more than what I could include. I can't include everything. So, how do I decide what's going to go in and what's not going to go in, right? What's going to go in and what's not. Sister Amita, I'm thinking about writing a memoir. I want to focus on major life lessons during life transitions. Awesome. Great. Okay. So that means you're going to be focusing on some specific themes of your life, some specific experiences of your life, and then you're going to expound on those. Okay. You're going to expound on those. All right. So that gives you like a little bit of a difference between what an autobiography looks like writing the full aspects of your life, right? And then what a memoir would look like, writing just a little, writing on a snippet or a particular portion of your life, right? Okay. Now, let's talk about how. How many of you all have been thinking about this question? Like, how, Zarina, how do I actually do it? I want to do it. I've been thinking about doing it, but how do I actually do it? I had a client yesterday. I was talking to him. He's one of our private clients. I've been working with him over the last year on his second book. This is the second book that we're doing together. And he was asking me, like, when is the uh book going to be uploaded? And I said, oh, no, we're pretty much done. It's going to be uploaded. And he said, I've been working on this. I've been wanting to get this done for 10 years. He said, I hope that you don't really feel annoyed with me by constantly but asking you questions and questions and questions, but I need you to understand that I have been wanting to do this for 10 years. This particular book, I've been wanting to get this out for 10 years. And I said, no problem, brother. We got you. Just like we did the first one, we're going to do this one. And I don't mind you asking questions. I understand that you have been wanting to do this for a while. So I don't know you all, how long you all have been thinking about writing your life story. Some of you, maybe just yesterday, you started thinking about it. I don't know. Let me know. How long have you been thinking about writing your life story? Is it very recent that you just thought about it, or has it been placed on your heart for some years? I don't know. But what I do know is that it's time now. Okay, it's time now. And I'm going to show you how to actually get started. So, now, when we are thinking about our life, we're gonna do a little exercise. Let me see what time is it is. 12:27. You guys want to do a little exercise? I feel like doing a little exercise with you all today. If you don't have paper, then if you can grab some real quick, you can grab some real quick. If you got some tissue paper, I just read a story of a lady who wrote on tissue paper with a eyebrow pencil. So whatever you got, get some notes or whatever, right? But let's do this quick little exercise. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment, okay? You can hear me. You don't have to see it this time. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. I want you to envision that you're walking into a movie theater, all right? You're walking into a movie theater. You're coming in, you got your popcorn, you got your slushy or whatever your favorite snack is, and you go in, you sit down in your favorite area of the theater. The theater is getting dark, and the movie is about to play. The movie starts, and it's you on the screen. It's your life. Now, don't freak out. Don't be scared. You're the only one in here right now. Nobody else can see this. I know some of you are like, woo, Z, I don't want to see everything that I've done in my life, right? That's a little bit scary. Remove the fear, remove any shame that we may feel, remove any self doubts that we may feel. Understand that you are an objective, observer right now. You are looking at it from the outside, no judgments. It just is what it is. So I want you to just review, see what comes up on the screen. What are some of the memories that are popping out for you coming up? Maybe thinking about your early childhood. Maybe you grew up with your grandmother, or maybe your grandfather used to take you fishing, or maybe your mother was not a very nice mother, or your father was one of the best fathers ever, or maybe your father was absent. Like, think about what's popping up for you. Your first love, or going to college, or getting your first real job. That person you had a crush on. when you fell down in the middle of the street and somebody came and helped you or such, a road trip, your first big cruise or other experience that you had, having children, getting married, getting divorced, what's popping up for you? Okay, I want you just to like envision it playing out in front of you. What are the memories that are popping up for you? Okay. And what I want you to do next is, if you have a piece of paper, what I want you to do is jot down some of those big memories that are coming to you. The ones that you don't have to dig very deep, like they're core memories. They're right there. You can see them, all right? And I want you just to jot some of those down on your paper. Okay? If you're on a laptop and you have another screen or something, you can do that. If you don't have anything, then just run through them mentally. You can do it later. Okay? But I want you to jot some of those things down that come from you. And I want you to get at least 10 of these core memories. It may be a person, a pivotal person in your life, okay? And when you're done, I want you to type done in the chat box. When you got 10 kind of core memories that you have seen through your review of your life, popping up on the movie of your life, I want you to type done into the chat box, okay? All right? So, from any aspect of your life, love, financial, educational, family, locations. We have one person that wrote her entire book based off of the homes that she lived in growing up. Every chapter was a different address. So for some of you, that may be what comes up. Some of you, it might be a song, actually, a song that is a part of one of your core memories. When that core memory, when that song comes up to mind, bam, stuff starts rushing back to you. All right. So I'm going to give you about 1 more minute. Jot down whatever comes up for you in this minute. Okay. Don't overthink it. And I should have said, you're not writing out the whole memory. Okay. You're not writing out like a full paragraph of the whole memory. This is just a little bullet, like grandmama making me a cake, birthday party, nobody showed up. You know what I mean? Like just a bullet point, not the full not the full story yet. All right. All right, Sister Amita, you're done. Good. Sister Amita, do you have one thing that you can share with us? Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can make you a co-host, which will allow you to speak. It may not. We'll see. We'll see. You don't have to worry about camera or anything like that. You can just be off camera, but I'll see if it allows you to speak or not. If it does, something should come up on your screen. If it does, we'll do it. If not, then we'll just continue with the chat box, right? But I want you all to type in one core memory, one thing that you can remember about your life that would be something that really sticks out for you, something that you don't mind sharing, okay, with the group. Put that into the chat box. Now, what we're doing here, you all, with this review of our life, with this letting the movie of our lives play, is we're starting to identify what are our pivotal moments in our life. Who were those pivotal people, pivotal characters in our life? What are some of those trajectory points in our life where when I got to this point, when I made this decision, my life moved in a different direction, right? Okay. So that's what we're doing with this. You're identifying some of those pivotal moments. All right, Sister Amita, I can hear you. Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Alhamdulillah.
How
Thank you
are
so much. Alhamdulillah. This is right on time. I've been thinking about doing this for a number of years, but just to respond to the activity, I kind of entitled it Doors, and I looked at it. I kind of followed the doors that closed, like were so significant because they also were places I lived. uh, Preschool doors closed, and then I moved to Nashville. Nashville doors closed, and then I went to graduate school, and think about that, and that was in Michigan. Then those doors closed. I got married. I closed that door. Another door opened. I became Muslim. I took my Shahada in Michigan. Then there's a lot of doors that opened and closed, but each time it was something else that was happening, and that's kind of where I just from that activity I went. But I've been thinking about a lot of different things, and I've done that whole memoir thing from birth to where I am now. I don't think I want to share all that. I mean, the autobiography piece, but the memoir, I think I'm just still in the thinking process. But I think I'd like to look at the opening and closing and what life lessons, what joys, what struggles, what growth happened when each door was appeared closed, but then when it opened up, what came with it is what I was kind of thinking about. But I'm just thinking it could be something completely different later.
I love the metaphor though. I love the metaphor of opening and closing and such. And it was interesting that when you continue to talk about it, you mentioned the opening, because my first reaction when you were speaking and you said like this door closed, my thing was that, well, when one door closes, another one always opens, right? And I hadn't
Exactly.
yet heard you say about the opening part. And so I, started thinking about that. And then you mentioned that as well. So yeah, that I think is a beautiful way of looking at it. Now, you mentioned like, I don't know if I want to talk about all of that. Can you expound a little bit more when you say thinking about the autobiography? You're like, I don't want to really go into all of that.
Well, I guess I'm kind of a private person in terms of who I am, but I also want to, and so sometimes I'm not sure if it would really even connect with where I'm trying to go with what I want to do at this point in time. My whole desire to even write this didn't occur until I became what would be officially a senior, like at 65, 60, 65. Because then my whole life, many doors have opened. It's like now, if I just looked at just this chapter, and I thought about just writing about this chapter, because there's so many doors and so many choices that I have to go back and look at those other doors. I'm going to take a peek and say, what did you learn there? Do you want to open that door? So that's so I'm not as focused on the past as I am on the present, maybe because it's kind of exciting, scary, exciting, challenging. It's just a lot of things being a senior that you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. One of the beautiful things about this type of work is that you are in full control. You all get to decide what is going to go in here and what is not going to go in here. So even if you say, I want to write my life story or I'm going to write my autobiography, you don't have to include every single door or every single opening that came in, right? You get to decide what is most pivotal. Now, one of the important things though is that with this type of life story work, with this type of autobiographical work, with this type of legacy work, it needs to be rooted in truth and it needs to be rooted in authenticity. And what I mean by that is that, of course, we know we're writing about our lives. So that is real life. These are things that actually happened. But it also is not in one of those spaces where we gloss over the valleys or we gloss over the tribulations or we gloss over the trials in order to make everything look like it was a rainbow all the time or it was sunshine 24/7. The lessons that the majority of us learned came through our hardest moments in life, the parts that we often want to keep hidden, keep underneath the rug, and don't really bring forward a lot. And so, where we are today is a culmination of all of those things, the ups, the downs, the all arounds. And that's led us to where we are at this moment. So, when you're deciding what you're going to put into your story, this is for you and all of us, right? everybody that's writing, you again look at what were the things that really changed my mindset, that gave me a lesson that allowed me to move forward as a better person, or what were also some of my biggest mistakes, because the biggest mistakes shared can help somebody else not make that same mistake, right? We don't
Mhm.
want them, someone else, to go through the same lessons that we learned, because we're either ashamed of those lessons or, want to hide them or such, when somebody else could benefit. You know what I'm saying, Sister Amita? So you get to choose what goes in there, but don't shy away from the trials and tribulations, because that's oftentimes where our biggest lessons were found.
I hear you.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think that there's different purposes for different writing projects.
Yeah.
And I do think that that is a purpose, what you're describing. And I think that when I thought, what I was thinking about, because I just was responding to your activity on the
Mm-hmm.
doors, that really wasn't what I had really originally thought about. But I do know that where I am at this point in my life, there have been many trials. You can't get to be 73 and not have trials. You
That's
know, you have lots of losses, but you pick and choose based on, I would think, how deals with what you're trying to get across. And so I guess what I was trying to get across is some of the challenges that we look at in the senior years, where things can look very dark. But if you really look, take a peek inside, they really are dark, but they're purposefully there. It's a purpose to darkness. I mean, in my faith tradition, everything is alhamdulillah. So if you have something really, really bad, you lose a child dies, your parent dies. Those are things that are very difficult sometimes to handle. Dealing with a parent for 20 years, that's, as you're watching that person age and become a child again, basically.
yeah.
There's a lot of lessons in that, but there's a lot of pain in that. And my story is a valid story, but I'd rather I've learned this over time, everybody's story is different. And you
Mm-hmm.
can pull something of value, but sometimes I guess I didn't want it. I wanted to be a story about the lessons and less about, you know, you're going to hear my own story, I would think, but less about me and more about the lesson, because I think that sometimes, and I may be wrong about this, I'm asking for some feedback.
Okay.
Sometimes I think that when people hear something, they say, "Oh, well, I can do that," or "Oh, they make your lesson their lesson. Not your lesson. They make your life experience. They identify with it and kind of absorb it. But I would rather share sometimes the experience, yes, but emphasize the value of the pain, the lesson in the pain, so to speak, the lesson in the struggle,
Yeah.
and then the. But I think if you just focus on the negative, it's hard to focus on. It's can leave you not as hopeful. Not only the writer, the person myself, but also the reader. And I guess I'm just going by things that I read. Whether I'm talking about the Barzakh, the Barzakh, or the current Barzakh, where you're waiting to go to the next stage of your development. You're
Yeah.
waiting. You're waiting to be. Your kid. I can hardly wait till I'm grown. They're in a waiting period. Wait till they get grown.
So you take notes of all these things, right? While you're saying too, take some notes on the things that are coming out. So, absolutely. Like we said, all of our life stories have ups and downs and such. But one of the bigger things that you mentioned that is relevant for everyone is that you want to identify what your goal is for your project, right? What is the
Right.
goal of this? Is it to document my life and the things that happen for my bloodline, for my children, so that the children know more about the decisions that I made, so that the children know more about where they came from, and fill in
Mhm.
the gaps maybe in their knowledge of me. That could be one goal. Someone else's goal could be where, hey, I want to take this period of life, this like caregiving. We have a client right now. Those of you who just joined us on February 15th, we're having the graduation of 6 of our current legacy story keepers have finished writing their stories. They're all beautiful. Some of them wrote autobiographies. Some of them wrote memoirs, like Sister Amita is looking to do. And their graduation, our story launches on February 15th. I want you all to all come to that. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And the work that they have done, the stories are amazing. We also have a guest speaker, though. Dr. Javier Wallace out of Duke University is a renowned storyteller. He does research from Panama to Senegal to America, focusing on sports and migration. And he does something called the Black Austin Tours in Texas. He's an amazing historian. He's going to be our guest speaker for the 15th. So you all are all invited to that. But what I was going to mention was that one of the graduates, Adrena, and you go to 100,000 stories, 100,000 stories.com, and you can register for the graduation. So Sister Adrena, who is graduating with us on the 15th, specifically wanted to focus on her caregiving and caregiving for her mother, caregiving for her father, but actually how she was a caregiver for a lot of folks throughout her life and what that looks like, right? And the lessons that were learned from that caregiving experience. And so that's what she wanted to bring forward from her life, being a caregiver with all the complexities and everything that comes from that, and then sharing that with others so that they can go forward. So, Sister Amita, you're absolutely right. You're going to want to think about, like, what are your goals? What is the takeaway message for the intentionality behind your story, what you're doing. And then when you decide what goes into it, it needs to feed that goal, right? It needs to feed.
Yes.
It needs to feed that goal. So,
I
well,
definitely need to sign up for your class.
yeah, I'll tell you all more about how you can do that in a second, because it is a beautiful thing. I'm learning so much from all of the folks who have written with us over the years, but to see them finish and to see them get to do something that they've been thinking about for a while, they just needed a container. They just needed some support, to get it done. I'm ecstatic to be able to help them get that done. So I love your thoughts. Thank you, Sister Amita, for joining us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. This is wonderful.
Welcome. All right, so let me see. I think I can. How do I? Dun, dun, dun. 1 second, you guys. Okay, Sister Amita, you might be able to. I don't know if it'll let you take yourself down or what. Let me see. Oh, I got it. Okay, never mind. I got it. Okay, so thank you, Sister Amita, for coming up into the hot seat. I appreciate that, you all. Did you all get something out of that? Can you see how, thinking about different ways that we want to structure the materials of our life, the experience of our life, the big lessons that we learned, and how we can put that forward to achieve whatever the goal is that we want to achieve. Amina said, yes, I love the analogy about doors, because walking into other doors of your story is a part of our personal growth. We don't know what's in store for us until we open that door to the next chapter of our lives. I'm sorry, Angela said that. No, sorry, Amina said that. And then Angela said, this is a great exercise. I haven't stopped writing since you told us to start writing. Can you repeat the website to see the graduation? Yeah, the graduation is 100. This is the easy way to find it. 100,000stories.com. And that will take you to our legacy story keepers. Both of these websites are the exact same. I just put 100,000stories.com because it's easier for some people to remember. But both of those will go the same. So you register for the 15th. That's going to be our story launch, graduation, celebration experience, really. And anyone that registers is also going to be put into a drawing for some goodies and such. So you can share that out with everybody, and they can come to the 15th. And Angela, yeah, once you get into the mode of writing and you have specific prompts that help to guide you, it is a lot easier process than you think. A lot of us who have wanted to do these types of things for a while, we don't know where to start because it's just so much. Like, where do I start? Like what's my entry point here? But once you have prompts, once you have specific exercises to go through, it helps your brain start to put all of these things together and move forward. And that's what this whole program is about. So I'm going to share with you all more about the program because we're coming up on 50 minutes, and I want to make sure I let you all, I know some of you all kind of have just an hour for lunch or so. But before I do that real quick, I want to acknowledge Miss Amina Adcock, because Amina, do I have your book here? Amina is one of our, we called them power authors at that time, but she is a legacy story keeper. Amina, are you still here? Amina came through um, our power author program and wrote her first book with us. I'm going to see, Amina, if I can make you a co-host. It should give you the ability to come up just like Miss Amina did. um and so Amina wrote her book, and she came through one of our other programs, very similar to the one that I'm going to tell you all about in a moment. But I want to see if it allows her to speak. I'm just going to give her a shout out because I haven't seen her in a while. I always love when my old clients show back up because we're family, right? We are absolutely family. And I want to give her the opportunity to come on up. Sister Catherine said, my issue is fear of writing and being judged. That is a common issue. Now, the fear of writing, we talk about that in the program because we help you with that. You are an amazing speaker. So if the fear is of pen to paper, there are other ways to get the message down that allow you to speak and use your natural way of organizing words. I happen to know Sister Catherine, who is on. She's one of my aunties, one of my second mothers. I happen to know her. So I know the way she speaks. I know that she's an orator. And a lot of you all who may have a fear of writing per se, like, I didn't do good with those term papers and I didn't like writing all those papers and stuff in college or whatever. Guess what? You don't have to do that. And you don't have to worry about making it sound like some academic paper. When you write your life story, memoirs, autobiographies, we want to hear your true natural voice. We want to hear your true natural voice. And that is what brings the beauty of your story forward. Not I before E except after C or some other type of grammatical uh um rule. It's not about grammar, it's not about rules. It's about what you're bringing forward, your truth, okay? And the best way to do that is in your natural way of speaking. So if you've ever told a friend about your life, if you've ever taught somebody, this is what I did last week, you can also write your life story. Okay. We show you how to polish it, how to make it flow, all of that. But if you've ever told anybody anything that happened, like, girl, let me tell you what happened, you can write your life story. All right. You can write your life story. All right, Amina, I don't know what happened. So don't worry about it. I'm going to see if it can bring you back. But if not, then, oh, there it is. You're here. Welcome. Let me see if it's unmuting you. Let's see. Amina, can you
Assalamu
hear us? Walaikum salam.
Yes, can you hear?
Yes, my love.
Well,
How are you?
alhamdulillah, wonderful. I'm so glad I got a chance to attend. I'm always I'm in a different time zone for one, so I'm doing a lot, and then that overlaps what I'm doing every time I try to attend. But alhamdulillah, I'm glad I made it. So yes, the my experience in writing my book with the sisters with the group, it was a very interesting, challenging, wonderful experience because I went through it all. There was a lot of personal challenges that I was going through. I think I shared some of that with the group. But I was so determined, I said, no, I can't give up, because I joined this group and it was so supportive. and it was no excuse. I'm team no excuses, so I was able to get through it all. And I'm now working on my second book project, going through you. I wanted to, continue where I left off with my first book. And it was a little scary to just sharing some experience about the process. So it was really scary because it's some information that you don't want to share, but in order to get your point across, it's kind of like you have to. But I was making sure that I was careful with my words and not, offending anyone. But in order to get my authenticity out, I had to just be honest, and that's a wonderful thing because there was nobody's feelings was hurt. I didn't throw no one under the bus. It was just my authentic 100% truth. So piggybacking on that, this next book that I'm writing is more of like a continuation of my first book, because I'm doing, work on myself and my personal healing and my collective healing with my children, with my family. So I thought it was important for me to just continue this journey. As the sister was speaking about the doors, different doors opening up for you, so it was just time to step into something more authentic, because I feel like I needed more closure, if that makes sense, more closure in understanding, you know family trauma, or understanding, how to get through the process without staying in the thing. It's kind of like you want to stretch out. You want to be able to lend a hand to someone who's, going through or went through something that you have. And in order for me to do that, I really needed to focus on doing the work. Because if you can't help yourself, you can't help no one else, right? So I really wanted to, focus on that, and this journey has been beautiful. I've been focused on my second book for maybe 3-4 years now. I've
Mhm.
been really working on it, and I was like, oh, I gotta call Z, I gotta call her, I gotta call her. So, and then the legacy, what you built, what you're building, I said, oh, this is fantastic. This will be a perfect, avenue for me to join again, the to go through the process in the right way. So I'm excited, and I actually got quite a bit done. I have a draft, but I just want to have it in the right context,
Okay.
and by me being here, I can feel, okay, I need to take this out because I don't know if it's not exclusively an autobiography, and it's not exclusively a memoir. I don't know what it is, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I just know that it's something that can turn into something beautiful. So
Yeah.
I'm just here to get that extra content for my project.
Yeah, I love that. First, welcome back. I always love when my
Yeah,
family come back around, so
thank you
welcome
so
back.
much.
I'm really proud of
Alhamdulillah.
you for sticking with it the first time. I'm proud of you for, going and doing the projects that God places on your heart. When God says,
Yeah,
like we always say, like, we're team, no excuses, like you said. So we're going
yeah.
to
You
make
know,
it
seriously.
happen. We're going it happen. But for you with your draft where you have now, right? Don't worry about whether it's a memoir, whether it's an autobiography. We don't really care about those labels. What we care about
Mhm.
is that it is a life story. It is a story
Yeah.
about aspects of your life. And depending
Mhm.
on what your goals are with this, because some people write these life stories for their family and their bloodlines only, right? And
Mhm.
some people write them because they're going to publish for the outside world.
Yeah.
Depending on what your goal is, that will determine sort of how you structure some of the materials. Because if
Yeah.
I'm writing my life story specifically for my family and my bloodline, to fill in some of the gaps, to make sure that I work on and preserve the cultural inheritance that is
Mhm.
rightfully theirs. These stories
Mhm.
that oftentimes get buried 6 feet in the ground are too valuable. And we realize that. So we're preserving that
Yeah.
cultural inheritance. If I'm doing that, then I can put what I want in there without worrying about, does this part resonate with somebody else or whatever, because
Yeah.
it don't it's for a different audience, right? So
Yes, that's what I
those
was
are
gonna
some of
ask.
the things that we talk about, that we work through in the program. You're at the phase now where you probably will want some people to start reading some of the selections.
Yeah.
So on a week to week basis, I'm going to go over like what the new program looks like so you can kind of see and hear
Okay.
about it too. But
And
on
I
a
also wanted, not to cut you off, Z, I just wanted to tell you I want this to go in the direction of, when I said I want to help people, so I'm trying to do like a exercise section at the end of the book,
Okay.
so that people can, have like a work through type thing on what they need to do, or sharing different tools that I've learned, from my therapist and from counseling and all that, to, help them navigate their issues or challenges. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm working on.
So remind
Mhm.
me, like, remind me later. There's a handout that I've been wanting to add to the portal for this course that talks
Mhm.
about like how to add a reflection portion to your chapters. So some people may have a chapter, and then at the end of it, you will have certain questions or certain prompts or certain exercises that help people to take whatever the lesson is from that chapter and apply it to their life.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
we can go into that.
I will definitely remind you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my love. Thank
Mhm.
you so much for joining in,
You're
Amina.
welcome. I'll be in the back. I'm still gonna listen in and
Okay, yeah,
learn.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go into the program. You're welcome. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
into the program and let you all know exactly what it looks like. So, all right. So my goodness, I did not even properly introduce myself to the new people who are here. Forgive me for that. I just jumped into the training. Some of you are new and don't even know my name. Um, my name is Zarina Elamin. You all, I am the founder of the Legacy Story Keepers and Book Power Publishing. We have been in publishing since 2009, and over the last 18 months or so have been really focused on legacy books, life stories, autobiographies, memoirs. And the reason for that is because after my parents passed, I realized that I was doing all of this publishing, beautiful work, but the most important stories for my own bloodline, I did not record them in their own words. So my children, my youngest was 5 when when her grandmother passed. She remembers her, but she's not going to remember a lot about her life in her own words because I did not record that. So that's really what made me go into the legacy side of the work. I realized the importance of it, right? And this particular program, the Legacy Story Keepers, was built to help us preserve these stories while we still can. I told you all that some of us are, people say, well, we're in the fourth chapter of our life. My mother was 64 when she passed, so fairly youngish, you know what I mean? And so of course we would have thought she had a lot more years. So one of the reasons for this program is that we don't know how many years we have left. None of us are promised tomorrow. So we have to act on what we can do today. And this program is centered on helping us preserve our stories today. Okay, today, not 10 years from now, not 20 years from now, today. So, the way that we do this is that we built a container. This is a writing program, a group program that allows you all to write your life stories step by step in a group format. Okay, so what that includes is number one, we have a class portal of lessons on every aspect of writing. How do you include dialogue in writing a life story? How do you pull memories when you don't necessarily remember all the details? How do you do an interview if I need to interview some other people to fill in some of the gaps of my life? How do I do that? All of those type of lessons are inside of our classroom portal. So we log in, there are bite-sized video lessons that I have recorded on all of these aspects of writing, right? The portal itself, the course, you all have lifetime access to when you join our paid program. So when you join the paid program, you have lifetime access to that portal, meaning you can go in and you can review any of those classroom materials. If you want to do your life story focused on your spiritual journey, we have an outline for that already. You don't have to think about how do I put this together. You go in, you download our existing spiritual journey outline, follow that, right? And so the program has this classroom materials, handouts, prompts, questions, and video trainings that you can watch at 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, whatever is conducive to you and your aha moment time, right? So that's one portion of the program. You get lifetime access to that. Now, let's say you're writing your spiritual journey. I'm going to take that for an example right now. You're writing on the spiritual path that you took. And when you're following our paths, our outlines, our prompts, you're going through some of the course materials, you're going to be writing, and then you're going to have questions that come up. We don't leave you alone and just say, hey, just go do it on your own, follow our prompt. We have, similar to what we did today a little bit, where we have office hours and writing times as a group. So twice a week, we come together. Everyone who is in this program comes together and we read each other's sections. We answer, my team and I, myself and my editors, answer questions that you all have. We work through any fears. We work through any doubts. We work through any writer's blocks that comes up. We work through all of those things, right? And so you're working through your writing on a week to week to week basis, because you don't eat an elephant all at once. You eat it one bite at a time. You're not going to write a full life story all at once. You're going to write it one memory at a time. All right. So we like to do things very strategically, but we like to do things in a way where it is comfortable, where it works, you know? So you're going to write it little by little by little and utilize the office hours times to get one-on-one coaching, to get feedback on your actual work. Okay. Your job as a member of the Legacy Story Keepers is to show up to at least 1 or 2 of those weekly writing times. That way you get to present your materials and we get to hold you accountable, right? All of us have things that we want to do, and all of us have life. You know, the grandkids came over unexpectedly or whatever. We all got life. So as a family, our job is to hold your hand and get you to the finish line. Okay. All right, get you to the finish line. The third aspect of the program is what we call like our cousins community. So these are all the other members who are in the program writing with you. You get to connect with them, and they, in addition to my team, my editors and myself who become your writing coaches, the other cousins in the program, because we are a family, the other cousins also become your accountability partners, your beta readers. They read some of your materials, give you feedback, your high fivers, all of that. So you get connected to all the other people who have gone through this program and are also currently in the program. So you're not alone trying to do this by yourself. Okay? It's no longer just a dream. You're in a container that is specifically built to help you get it done. All right. So those are the major components of what this program looks like. It's really about a 4-month kind of commitment, if you will. It's going to take you about 3 months to write your materials all out and do some editing and such, little by little by little. And then we build in a few extra weeks just to account for life or such, because, you might fall sick. We've had some people had to go to the hospital. You never know what may come up. So we kind of give you that. Now, we don't say a year. We don't say 2 years, because we want you to get it done. And I don't know if you have ever been in a class where you may have a deadline for a due date for a paper or something, and you write to the last second and you start trying to cram everything and get that little paper in or whatever. My point is that we're humans. And a lot of us, if we say I'm gonna take 3 years, we take the whole 3 years, when it could be something that could be done in 3 months, but we just extend it out, procrastinate. Nah, as Amina said, one of our mottos with everything that I do is team, no excuses, meaning get it done. Whatever happens, we're going to get it done. So that is the core bits of the program. Additional things that come in with your membership in the program, when we bring in guest instructors, we bring in genealogy instructors. This is not necessary for you to write a life story, but some of you all may want to do some genealogical research. So we bring in guest instructors into the program so you get access to those high-level trainings as well. We've also brought in Hollywood declutterers. So one of the organizers that works with Black Hollywood, we brought her in, and she did a special course specifically around decluttering, because I don't want to die and leave my kids with my 59 closets of stuff that they don't want, and they trying to go through, and they got all this sentimental value, and should I keep this? Should I keep that? So is it necessary for your life story writing? No, but it's a auxiliary, you know what I'm saying? Auxiliary subject that may be interesting for some of you all. So we bring in those type of high level masterclass instructors sometimes, and you all get access to those when you become a member of the Legacy Story Keepers as well. Okay, so that's an overview of what the program looks like. Now, what is the investment of this program? First of all, people say, you put your money where your mouth is, right? You invest in what is important for you. Now, there are articles by the Wall Street Journal that we have found that are talking about the 1%, the wealthy of the world, where they are investing 100,000, 150,000, 200,000 into just writing one grandmama's life story. Now, we also have ghostwriting projects and such over here, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about this group program that's going to help you move through the process. It's not 100,000, it's not 150,000, right? In order to get it done. But guess what? Even if it was 150,000, I would gladly pay 150,000 to have my mama's story written so that her grandkids' kids had her story in her own words. I would gladly pay that, hands down. Hands down. So would I rather have her story or, some diamonds or such? Which one would I want? Which inheritance? I'd rather have her story. I would definitely rather have her story. So this type of work that you're doing is priceless. I want you to understand that what you're putting down, you may not see the value in it right this moment. You may not see that a future grandkid or somebody in your community or family would value it to that level. But I need you to understand that it is extremely important. Okay. And even if you don't yet value your life, know that somebody else does value your life. I'm not even going to talk about the powers that be that are already trying to shut you up. They don't want you to tell your story. That's why they're banning books and pulling stuff out of museums. They don't want you to tell your story. They want you to think it ain't worth nothing. So we're not even going to go into all of that right now. But anyway, the investment for this program, the full and pay investment is $2,000. It's a $2,000 program. $1,997 is the exact amount. $2,000 investment. Now, if you don't have the $2,000 investment up front to pay in one lump sum, then you can get started with a deposit. And the deposit is $300. So that gets you into the door. That gets you into the Legacy Story Keepers. That gets you access to all of the class materials and also access to the live sessions, of which we have a live session tonight at 6 p.m. FYI. So if you're on the roll and you know you want to join in, I'm going to actually drop the link for you now so that you can go over to the link and you can choose your payment plan option there. And if you're on the roll, you're like, let's go, Z, you can actually join in now and come to the class tonight because you'll be able to get started now. So $300 is the deposit that gets you into the door, and then you're going to have 4 payments of $500, which is the payment plan spread out, so you can kind of spread out the payments, if you will, right? So those are the options. You'll also see another payment option on the page. I want you all to make sure you go to the page, okay? Go to the page because on that page, we have some beautiful examples of other legacy story keepers. I'm actually going to bring up the page right now so you can see it. Let me go there. LegacyStoryKeepers.com. And then I'm going to open up for Q&A. Any questions that you all have, type them into the chat box because I'm going to open up for Q&A in a moment. Now, these questions can be around anything that we've discussed today. If you need more clarification on exactly what you get in the program, ask that as well. I don't want you to leave here today without having your questions answered. Whatever the questions are, I want you to use this time to ask your questions about the program and about this type of work. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to, let me see, where is here it is. All right, you guys let me know in a second, can you see my screen? You should be able to see, let me pull this out. You should be able to see the website. Do you all see the website on the screen here? If technology is working right, you should be able to see it. Let's see. Okay, thank you, Amina. All right, so here's the page. This is what it looks like. So you're going to scroll down, right? And you're going to see some payment options here. Now, I should say, when you do the full-time payment, when you do the one-time payment, you get a bonus. That bonus is going to be a one-on-one training with either one of our legacy coaches. So that means they're going to sit down with you. They're going to do a free deep dive with you one-on-one that allows you just to jumpstart your project even faster. Okay. So that's going to be a one-on-one deep dive when you do the full, the one-time payment. All right. But if that doesn't work for you and your budget, then choose one of the other payment options and you can go for that. All right. So you're going to see on this page, you can pay with PayPal. You can use a credit card, any of those things as well. Now, here's what I wanted to kind of bring forward. I know a lot of us are afraid, sometimes nervous, like, is this real? Will it work for me? It worked for them, but will it work for me? I want you to hear some of what other people have said around doing this work, okay? These are other clients of ours that were all in your shoes. They all came to one of my trainings. They all thought about writing, and then they actually got help and got done, though. So when you click on these, it's going to allow you to hear. It's not going to play clearly now because of the reverberation, the echo, basically. But I want you to go to the page, right? LegacyStoryKeepers.com/join. And then listen to some of the other people. Because they have all been in the same shoes with you, right? They've all been in the same shoes with you. So is 4 months a hard deadline to complete your book? 4 months is not the hard deadline to complete your book. You have a 6-month membership in the program. So that means you get to come twice a week to the live sessions, the coaching sessions. You have 6 months of those that you're getting right now. That's what we're offering now, 6 months of live coaching sessions with the program. So some people do it in 2 months, some people do it in 3, some people do it in 4, some people take 6. If it takes you longer, then we have a continuation program that's a monthly membership and you can stay in that. But what we found really is that when you use the structure, when you come in with the intention that I'm going to get it done, and when you do some of the things that we lay out for you, it's easier than you think. All right, it's easier than you think. Yes, Sister Catherine, the payment plan has a what would you call it? Financial fee that's associated with the back end. So that is put over. So if you do this one is $300 down, and then 4 payments of $500. So the total is spread out, but it's a little bit more. So you definitely save when you do the full pay option. And then there's one other payment plan option on the page as well, like 3 pay of $697. So you can also choose that one, either one, whichever one works for you all. Choose the best one for you. Okay, so I definitely want you all, when you should see the link on your page on this screen. You can click that and it will take you to this page, but I want you to choose whatever is the best payment plan option for you, and then also listen to some of the videos. Now, I have a coupon code for you all. This is Black History Month. I'm Black. In case you didn't notice. So we got a coupon code. It's Legacy. You'll see on the page, let me scroll up. You'll see on the page where it says enter coupon code right here. So if you enter in Legacy right there, I think it doesn't matter if you type it Legacy. I think it doesn't matter if you type it lower or big or whatever, but when you put in Legacy, let me check it, Legacy. But when you put in Legacy, yeah, it will take off $100. So you're going to get $100, and it takes it off of any of these. So even if you do the deposit, if you do the full pay, whatever, you're going to get $100 off. That's now for Black History Month. Okay, so that's only for those of you who sign up before the end of this week, right? So that is applicable for that. All right, so you're welcome. If I have a draft already, should I present it or go through the live coaching sessions after I pay the deposit, of course? So what I would want you to do, if you're gonna join now, Amina, and I'll let Fatima. Fatima is one of our editors who runs the Wednesday call. It's tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're ever not able to make one of the live sessions, you can also utilize our Facebook group, and you just post up in the Facebook group like your question, and then one of our coaches will answer it at the next live session. We have sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays. If you're going to join, I would say go ahead and join now, right? And I'll let Fatima know that you're coming in, if you're able to come in tonight to class on tonight. But what I would do with you is the next live session, bring a snippet of your work, or either bring your whole thing so we can kind of just scroll down and see what it is that you already have, and give you some feedback on what you have, and then help you go forward with that. I think that would be the best thing for you. Got you. All right, best thing for you. I think that's the best move. Yes. All right. So any questions that you all have, my friends, drop them into the chat box. I'm here to drop and answer any questions that you all have about the program. Now, if there's something stopping you from joining, yet you know in the back of your mind that you want to, but it's just like, I want to hear what that is. Even the money, a lot of times people psych themselves out and they say, I don't have the money, I don't have the money. And then I see them out to eat the next week at some expensive restaurant and they spend $200 on their meal, and yet they act like they don't have money to preserve their legacy. Like, don't let me see you out there in that new Dietrich fur coat, but you saying you don't have money for legacy. Your great grandkids gonna be like, what were you investing in? You know what was important. So part of what we're doing here is like shifting the mindset of the culture for us to recognize what the 1% have already been recognizing, that our stories have value, that there is wealth in our experiences. There is a reason why the big folks of the world continue to publish books, even when they tell you that nobody likes reading, that books are dead. It's all about Netflix. Yet they're constantly publishing. Oprah just put out a book. Why is she putting out a book when she's in the TV world? Aren't books dead? Right? Will Smith. Y'all know who Will Smith is? Jada and Will. Both of them put out books. Yes, he has a TV show too, but why would he put out a book? You know what I'm saying? Amazon, the biggest country in the world, built on the back of what? Books. It started out books. They killed Borders, the bookstore, and then now they're starting to open up bookstores. So what I'm saying is that we got to recognize that we're in a cultural war right now, and they don't want you to think that your stories have value at all. They're putting their money up. They're hiring professional biographers and folks to come in and record them because they want their stories to be here. They don't want yours. I'm not even going to go into all of that right now because it can get very deep, and we can go, I can get off into my little anthropological soapbox stuff. So I'm not going to go into all of that, but I just want you to recognize that it is what it is, right? It is. Yes, ask your children and family members to help with the precious legacy. Now, those of you who are Muslim, you have Eid coming up. Tell them you want an early Eid gift. Mother's Day coming up. Tell them you want this for Mother's Day. Father's Day coming up. Tell them your birthday, whatever. Like, tell them, hey, it's important. Now, after you pay the deposit, you will be sent the link. Yes, Sister Catherine, but you need to check your spam or your promotions folder because Google is not playing nicely with us, and they are sending all of our emails to your spam or your promotions folder. So check your spam, check your promotions, and you're going to see in there, you're going to see the link, and you then will be able to access the materials. It's going to give you the ability to set a password so that you can log in and get all of the, all the stuff. The classes, the live classes for tonight, those classes are on Zoom. So all of those are on Zoom. So you just, click the Zoom link and then you'll be able to join there. All right, you'll be able to join there. But check your spam, check your promotions, because that's where it comes in, unfortunately. All right, unfortunately. All right, so for those of you who have questions about the program, let me know. Those of you who are like, yes, I'm going to be writing my story, let me know that too. I want to know that you got something out of spending this time with us. We've been here for about 90 minutes. So was this a good use of your time? Are you walking away with some information that you feel like you can implement, some information that you feel like you can use, and at a minimum, some inspiration, to help you get this done, right? Our job with this Legacy Story Keepers, we want to help you all have 100,000 stories. We want to preserve 100,000 stories. That's our goal. And it starts with you. All right. It starts with you. All right, you all. So welcome. I'm glad, Sister Amita. I'm very glad that you got something out of it. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad you were able to come. Sister Catherine, yes, as my mother used to say, stepping out on faith and belief. For a lot of you all, I ain't even gonna hold you up. This is long overdue. Y'all know y'all should have been writing y'all stories for a long time. Y'all know this. You know you have something that should share, that you should share. You know this, and you know it will be good too for you and for other people. Yes, y'all know this, right? So we have the container. So now, like Amina said, it's team no excuses. We're gonna get it done, and our job is to hold your hand. That's our job, to give you accountability and hold your hand. All right. So let me put the link back up real quick. This is where you click. Make sure you click that link. Any questions that you have, I'm going to drop my email into here. If there's any questions or any problems that you all have, you can email us at legacy@legacystorykeepers.com, and a member of our team, probably Michelle, will email you back any things that you have. I want to hear from all of you all, though, right? So anything that's stopping you, let us know. If you have any questions, let us know. We're here for you. All right. Love you all. Thank you for joining us. And I can't wait to see those of you who are joining tonight. Sister Catherine, it sounds like you're going to be putting your deposit in. So I will let Fatima, who is our editor for Wednesday, I will let her know to look out for you all. Check your spam. If you don't see it by 4 p.m., in your spam, let us know. Really by 3 p.m. If you don't see the email in your spam or your promotions, let us know by 3 p.m. and we'll make sure we get it to you. All right, you all. Have a great day. Peace, everybody.